Hello. Stopping in for a late night conversation, I guess. To anyone who's new, my name is Corrie. Um, I'm the owner of this page. I am the founder and creator of More Than Existing, and I usually just stop in and have a conversation about the collective energy. But I don't know why I'm here this evening, so I just thought I'd stop in while I was sitting at my desk for a little bit. So we'll just give a moment and see if we have anyone with us. Trying to actually see if I'm on live. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing that I'm actually on Facebook. We'll see if I'm anywhere else. And it is a long weekend, so I'm sure most people probably got lives. I see somebody is here. Somebody is watching. So I'm just waiting, just giving a moment to see if we have anyone in here. Or who we have in here. Now I am on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. Hello, MJ. So I can see I'm on YouTube because MJ is here on YouTube. And I'm just waiting to see if my Facebook is actually showing up. Because, I have my posts. Some of my posts are being seen by, I can see the statistics of the post. And some of my posts are being seen by maybe 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. And I'm like, okay, my list of people who are on this page is way higher than that. It's so my posts don't get seen. You know how Facebook works. Hello, Felicia. Just making lunch. Oh, nice. I always make my hubby's lunch. He's on the road, so I food prep all week. And then I freeze it and then he takes it to work. Hi, Claire. And hello, Jenna. I want to stop in. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Now, remember, I am not an astrologer, so I don't have all the details, so don't ask me all the details. But I can tell you energy-wise. But we have, I think it's Pluto is going back into Capricorn for the last time in our lifetimes. We will not see Pluto go in to Capricorn anymore in our lifetime. Something like that. And it does have an impact upon many, many of us. And so it affects, I think it begins today, tomorrow, somewhere around there. I'm just looking it up or waiting for people to come in. Hello, Karen. So we have this. Hold on, I'm just trying to bring it up. Yeah, so it's Pluto goes back into Capricorn. It re-enters Capricorn, and it's like the last time it will be in Capricorn in our lifetime. And it's in Capricorn until November the 19th. So it's kind of like the cycle that began in 2000, 15, 16 years ago, I think. So it's like the cycle that would have began, say, 2008, 2009 is like we're ending a cycle. So we're entering into this ending phase. So you may be feeling the energy. I woke up this morning and I was so full of life, like I was on a mission. I was going to do this and I was going to do that and I was going to create a plan and da 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 da. And then it was like something just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I fell apart today. So this energy that we also have happening does bring back it represses energies that we haven't let go of. So what I actually was going to do, I was going to go buy a watermelon and I was going to take it out in the yard and I was just going to like take a bat to it. And I was going to beat up this watermelon like, and I'm not that kind of angry person. So it's very uncharacteristic for me, but I could feel this coming up of energy. So I literally drove into nature. Instead of beating up the watermelon, I drove into nature and I went out to the Ellis Bird Farm and I walked around the Ellis Bird Farm. But as I was driving out there, I just like screamed and I was just like, and this is very healthy. This is a very healthy tool. And I get people to do this in coaching, was I screamed as loud as I could. And I just let these big screams out of me today. And I just knew that it wasn't anything in particular. It was energy that had just been like just needing to come out, needing to be let go. And it's because we have this influence and this influx of energy right now. And it's not that we have it's when we have a lot of light shining on us, when we have the light shining on us, it kind of puts us in the spotlight and it puts things in the spotlight. I keep forgetting to do that. Yeah, Claire, like it's so important. People say, well, why would I scream? Well, how many times in your life do you like say you kind of lose your temper and you just like scream out at things? But that's not a healthy, like it's, and then afterwards you like feel like crap, but then you feel like some sort of relief. But this is like not directing or reflecting on anyone. It's literally letting out your primal voice. It's a part of that primal raw voice that we have. Hold on. Sorry, my camera's gone funny. And so, yeah, so, don't forget to do that. The other thing, and I do this when I have people who are going through, cancer treatments, or they're going through grief of any form in their lives, they're going through losses, divorces, breakup, is I always say, get yourself like something like a big tire or something big tire and get yourself one of those kids' spongy bats, like not a wooden bat, not anything dangerous that can bounce back at you, but one of those spongy bats, and set yourself up a smash place of where you can go out with that spongy bat and just like beat the living crap out of a tire or out of like a piece of wood, whatever it is, so that you don't hold in all of this energy, because it doesn't serve us to keep trying to stay strong, like the so-called strong we were raised on, or to be ladylike, or to be whatever. There's a primal rawness to us, and we have to get sometimes to the rawness. So yeah, Claire, like really get to that raw place within us sometimes. And especially if you're not good at expressing those raw emotions, because it's not easy for everyone to express those raw emotions, especially if you're the one who's always composed and always keeps your shit together. Is sometimes you got to let that shit go, right? And you have to let it out. Hello, everyone who's joining. I do that when I'm alone driving, as I feel it releases whatever needs to go. And yes, primal sounds perfect. I scream, and at different levels, high, low, squeaks, whatever I feel. Yeah, because these are sounds, right? They're vibrations, and it helps us to be able to release. And it might sound crazy to some people, like, we can't do that. Why not? Why not? Why can't you do that? Why can't you do that? And it's so good for us, and it really helps us. It keeps us from directing, it keeps us from reflecting onto others the hurt that we don't even want to feel ourselves. And so when you don't want to feel that pain anymore, you don't want someone else to feel, making somebody else feel bad is never going to make you feel better. Directing your pain, your anger, your frustration onto other people that are probably innocent in your environment, it never makes you feel good. It always gives you the rite of passage to feel bad, to feel guilty. So then it's the repeat cycle that continues to continue to feel shitty about yourself, right? Another reason to be disappointed in yourself, another reason to be angry at yourself, another reason to carry more burdens, because down the road, all of those come back up and they come back out and they go into that shoulda, coulda, woulda pile. Hello, everyone. So those shoulda, coulda, woulda piles, right? It's like you don't need more of those shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You need less of those shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And it is really truly accepting that primal, and that's a part of healing our instinctual self as well. It's huge. I write a lot about the instinctual self in my work, and so when I write my books, people always say, "Well, how come you don't tell us what to do?" It's because I don't write the books that tell you what to do. I write the stories and my journey through the experience and how I got through the story and what it felt like. And sometimes that feels like it feels, like you're erratic, hysterical, crazy, all of the above. But, but it's a truth, and we feel that truth. And when we can feel that truth, so to be able to share those experiences and those stories and to just let you know you're not alone, but there's a way through, right? And so making our way through, getting through, those are things that are important. And so, yeah, so I don't know who need to hear that tonight, but that's what I did. So what I finally did, what I did when I got to Ellis Bird Farm, which is if you're in the Lacombe, Red Deer area and you have never been to Ellis Bird Farm, I highly suggest going. There's another place that I highly, highly suggest, and it's out by Millet. If you love to do like silent meditations and just walks, is a place called the Three Marys. And that one is out by Millet. And I have walked when I lived in Leduc, I walked the Three Marys, I would say, I don't know, 7, 8 times. I walked it continuously. And then, and then Ellis Bird Farm around here. Like there's other places, but these are places where are more like sanctuaries. So it gives you the opportunity to just be. And so while I was there, this is what else I did. So when I did my screaming and my yelling driving out, when I got there and I was walking, I could feel that I was trying to get myself back into peace, but it was the last place I needed to go was to get myself into peace. I needed to feel everything I was feeling. I needed to know that it's real, but don't attach it to anything. Here's the key. Let your feelings roll through, but don't attach them to a story, because they are what we call visitors. So we have visiting emotions. We have visiting experiences that repress, that come back up when we're going through times like we're in right now, or energy, or if you're going through any change, transition, grief, those things, is you have these visiting emotions. And when we attach them to a story, we give them not just the old story, but a new story. And then it just weighs us down. It just gets heavier and heavier. And then you anchor it to somebody, and then it gets even worse again. So they're visiting. So as these emotions were visitors and they were rolling by, what I do is I often will pick up a rock or pick a flower or whatever it is, a stick, and I'll hold it for the time that I'm walking. And then when I'm ready to leave the walk, the hike, whatever it is I will leave the rock, the stick, the flower, I'll leave it behind, and I'll leave everything behind. And it's just like I'm leaving the pain behind, the pain stories behind. I'm leaving the worry behind. I'm leaving behind everything that's out of my control, because it's not in my control. I'm leaving behind the worry, because worry will never resolve anything. And I'm leaving it behind. And I just symbolically leave it behind. Today for me, it was a rock I had picked up, and I carried that rock all the way on my walk. And then I put that rock, and then I left the rock behind. And I just left it in the trail and placed it I give it to nature. And the trees are guardians. If you are ever in the More Than Existent Academy, I have a whole, it might even be on the playlist in YouTube. If you go to the playlist in YouTube, there's like one of each of a bunch of my teachings that are in there, and you can listen to them. And it might be in there, and it's about, and it's, if not, it's in the academy, More Than Existing Academy, and it's a pre-recorded that I did. It wasn't a class I taught, but it was about my relationship to the guardian angels and the guardians stepping into the trees, and the relationship between guardian angels and trees, and how they are the guardians of earth, right? And they're the guardians here, and they're the guardian angel, and how they communicate to me. And so the trees, I can hear the trees, and the trees speak, and the guardians step in. And so in a I left it with, in a space within the tree, I laid it with the tree, and I just said to the guardians, this is too big for me. This is for you. This is for you to help me. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for whatever is needed. I'm asking to be free of this. It wasn't peace I was seeking, it was freedom. And so the more I walked, I realized I didn't need to be at peace. I needed to be free. And if you're anything like me, I've spent a lifetime being extremely hard on myself. I am critical of myself. If I overplay every scenario, or I used to. I overplayed I still do sometimes. I overplay every scenario, wondering if I've done enough, if I have given enough, if I had been enough, if I was nice enough, if I was good enough, that has been since I was a little child. And there's a why behind that. And so when those emotions revisit, or that thought revisits, is I don't sit in it. I don't let it have ownership, but I set it free, right? And so it wasn't peace, because I'm at peace with a lot of things. It's freedom. So sometimes you got to find what it is you're actually seeking and looking for, and what it is that you want to feel more of in your future. Because we build up such a smorgasbord of everything in our lives. We get so caught up. And so because we have this Pluto returning into Capricorn for its last hurrah in our lifetimes, we'll never see this come back. We'll never see this alignment that's in right now or in tomorrow. Then we'll never see this again in our lifetimes. And it's coming with a punch. And of course, in Tarot, Capricorn is tied to the Devil card. Now, the Devil card is often tied to our sense of creating our own enemy within. It's often tied to believing that we're tied to something, chained to something, responsible, held to something, and it's like a sense of corruption of the mind, right? And so it has the corruption of the mind. So what's those corroding thoughts? What's that corruption? What's that interference that stands in the way between you living in your light and you live in your shadow life, right? What is standing in the way? What gets in the way? Why does our shadow come forth? So we're really seeing the shadow make a comeback. And I speak about this in the September message as well, that we're really seeing the comeback of the shadow. So the aspects of the shadow is entering back in. And we're here to really, truly integrate the shadow within. So the light walks ahead, and the shadow is the part of the self that heals. It's not the problem child, is what happens when we don't stand up for the problem, for the child, right? When nobody stands up for the child, or when the child's not protected, or the child is not heard or seen, or whatever. And the child or the teenager. So there's inner child work, there's teenage work, there's young adult work, there's adult work. There's all these layers and levels to us. And so buried into all of that is, we create these covers, these masks, these walls of protection. And then the truth of us, the authenticity, is the part that it must be the problem, so we better put it away, right? And that's a part of integration. That's a part of learning about the shadow. And so the shadow is making a comeback. It is making a big comeback. And so you may be feeling it. So we're just giving you a little heads up. And it's not all bad. That's just a piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of good to this, because this energy means that we are kind of getting our groove back. It really affects certain signs. I know Cancer, Capricorn, I think Libra and Aries. I can't remember if it's Libra or it's Taurus. Like those those astrological signs are really feeling that effect, but it's bringing back in, it's a time of where Capricorn, I say, is your take charge kind of energy. It's not taking no for an answer. It kind of got a lot of calculated energy to it. It can be calculated in a good way, it can be calculated and manipulative in another way. And it can get you to do what you didn't want to do in the first. You might not have wanted to heal, you might not want to be happy, but yet this Capricorn can get you to do the things that you're not willing, that your shadow's not willing to do. And so it has a lot of really good potential. I speak a lot about it in the September's energy update. And so from August the 22nd, September's message, and this weekend's message that I'll just put out on YouTube, I think they all are like just one big long continual until almost that November. So there's a lot of information that is in there that may really suit you if you're going through some of those things, if you're feeling it. So, you may notice there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things happening right now, and a lot of unexpected, expecting the unexpected, knowing the unexpected is happening. That's all in the energy as well. But it's a good time. It's really good energy to get things done, because it's an ending. So the cycle of the last 15, 16 years is coming to an end. And so the ending is coming. So we're closing the door, closing the books on this part of life, and we're moving into the next part. We're moving on into, we're opening new doors, right? New doors, new possibilities, new potential. So that's what's happening. One thing I'm doing is I am heading back to Newfoundland. I'm going back to Newfoundland in October, and it was like a surprise to everyone. I never announced it anywhere prior to me actually saying, other than me saying, yeah, I'm thinking about coming back. But all the dates weren't set, nothing was set, but everything has now released on Eventbrite. So I am going to be in Corner Brook, Gander, St. John's, all right, Corner Brook, and then Gander, and then I'm backtracking a little bit to Grand Falls. And then I'm going to be in St. John's, but I don't have a date posted for that yet because I wasn't sure how to work that in. So I don't have a date. I have a cool little spot I want to work in, but I don't have a date set. So I will be in Corner Brook on October the 15th. I will be in Gander on the 17th. And then I will be in Grand Falls on the 19th and the 20th. And the one in Grand Falls is the evening is the Saturday evening is the mediumship event. And then the Sunday is a day event. And I'm going to be doing an empowerment transformation day, a day of hanging out with me and doing some intuitive work. And so that's going to be happening on the Monday. Now the early bird pricing is up. The Sunday in Grand Falls, I'm adding something on there tomorrow, so it's a bit of a surprise. So if anyone's already bought tickets, I will email you, but I will be releasing a new option for purchasing tickets for the Sunday, and so I will be adding that on tomorrow morning. And so if you're in Gander, Grand Falls, Corner Brook, St. John's, I'll get that out this week as well. But I will be back in Newfoundland in October. And I'm so excited to be coming back. This is a part of my journey because there was a period of time when I honestly thought I was just going to be not doing any of this. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to continue. Life just kind of takes you to those places. And I've got 3 published books and oracle cards, but but I just, it's hard sometimes, and we're very human. And yeah, and I just had to make that decision, and I had to really truly stand up and into my own truth and into my own light, and get back up and get back into knowing who and what I am and why I'm here and what I do and why I do what I do. And so I know my why. I know my why. And that's the key. When you know your why, it's like knowing your due north. When you know your North Star, your due north, you follow that big why, right? And that big why is about being able to be able to share these experiences and do what I do. So I'm happy to be going. And then I also have an event here in Lacombe that's coming up right away. So I have an event in September the 21st, and it's a one afternoon event. And it's about building your intuition, strengthening and building your intuition. And that's happening right here in Lacombe on the 21st. And everything is on Eventbrite. Everything is on my website. If you go to my website, you can see it all there. Early bird pricing is on everything all through Newfoundland. It has the early bird pricing. All of that's up. So yeah, get in and get your tickets there. The tickets are selling, which is so cool to see that there's tickets selling. I have not worked in Corner Brook. I have not worked in Gander. Not this way. I was a hairstylist in Gander for a period of time, and I actually lived in Appleton. If for anyone who's in Newfoundland, they will know where that is, but I did live there for a period of time. I've lived a lot of places. I've done a lot of traveling in my life. So yeah, so that's what I got that way. So let's just pull a card for this collective energy. You can hear a lot of noise maybe. There's 2 fans going. There's Sid snoring on the floor. Forever Golden. Davina. And so this beautiful card she is in the crone energy. And there is a lot of crone energy cards in here. And so she's card number 29. And she's doing what she wants. She's wearing a short dress and a long dress, because why not? Why can't we be this and be that as well? We can be happy and still be sad. We can be hopeful and still have doubt. We can be inspired and still feel like we're losing a sense of faith, right? Like we can have everything happening at once. She can be sassy and she can be practical. She can be whatever she chooses to be. And that we as women, or we as people in general, we spend so much time trying to fit ourselves into a box of what we think we should be, who we think we should be. And that each and every day and each and every moment we should stay the same, that we should be consistently the same in who we are. And that's not true. So the only thing that stays the same for us is the golden. And that is our divinity. That's our divine. That's our rock. That's our anchor. And that's what's anchored to our soul. So we can have not always been the most upstanding people. We could have had fallouts. We could have been sometimes probably we could be the enemy in somebody else's story, but it doesn't mean you're the enemy to all. You're never going to make everyone happy. Not everyone's going to like you. And so her little wings may be broken, but it doesn't mean that she is still not divine. It doesn't mean she still can't fly. And that's where we are, really truly seeing that within ourselves, recognizing that within yourself, is that we have all been dropped down here to earth. We go from our heavenliness, we go from our divine, and we go from this greater consciousness, this all-knowing consciousness, and then we fall down to earth, kerplunk, right? And we hit earth, and then we land here, and we're born with not knowing, right? We're born with amnesia. And so you get amnesia, and then you get all of this outside noise and all of this chatter that is coming from people's unconscious into conscious awareness, into their repeat patterns, their repeat beliefs, their values, This is what our ancestors were like, so this is what we're like. You don't know exactly what all of the ancestors were like. They're fairy tales and fables, right? Like we just don't fully know. We know bits, we know pieces, we know parts of it, we know hand me down information. Whereas when we were, our soul has firsthand news. Your soul, your divinity has firsthand news. It has it has a deep seated, deep rooted truth that you are enough. That yeah, we're not that damn special. We're really not. Like we mean something to a lot of people. We mean something in this world, but we all matter. Everyone matters, right? And so knowing that about ourselves is also knowing that it matters on how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we present ourselves that aligns to us. And I shared that in a reel today. I shared about that experience of being not in your own skin and not feeling like yourself. And often we're not ourselves. And often the version of you think you are is not even you. It's the one you cultivated and created for your survival. Because we're taught to just exist in surviving. And we're here to learn to move from just surviving into the ability to thrive. And so this big shift that we're going through is because we are moving, because we've just come through that age of the Piscean energy. And we have been for the last little bit shifting in to the age of Aquarius, which is the golden age, right? And so we are making the shift into being able to be more in alignment to our own soul, to our own spirit, to really truly bring that balance between that physical realm, the physical body, the mental body, and the spirit, and bringing that in. And so raising ourselves back up into spirit, connecting deep into spirit brings us into being able to connect into that higher consciousness and beyond even sometimes what we could even imagine, right? And we spend so much time looking into what is being presented to us that we get trapped in this is what's being presented to me. Oh, that's in style, that's how I have to be, that's what everybody's doing, that's what I have to do. And I had another reel, and I don't know why I didn't share this reel. Probably because I was wearing the clothes that didn't feel right to me earlier. But I made a reel this morning, and it literally spoke about, and it ties to this, ties to Davina, and it literally speaks about um, what everyone else is doing. That sense of, well, if everyone else is doing that, that's what everyone tells me I should do. Well, does it feel right? Right? Does it feel right? And the other aspect of that is like when you tell yourself a truth, a real truth, you just, it's, is everyone really doing that? Did everyone really go to that concert? Did everyone go to Pink last night? No. And sometimes when we choose to not to just go and do what everyone is doing or to do what we've always done before, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. Well, why do we do it that way? What if there's another way? Well, there's not. We can't do it another way because that's how we do it. And we get so trapped, and those are entrapment stories, and we get so trapped in there. Whereas when you look at it and just because it's easy to feel bad about ourselves for not being where everyone is, right? And it's like, no, if we don't go where everyone goes, we're going to go the way that we want to go. We're going to listen to something more. And so the reel that I was making was, everyone was going to Pink, and I'm like, well, why didn't I go to Pink if everyone else was going? Well, not everyone went to Pink, and where I was meant to be. So our invocation is where we are, and that's where our bookmark of life is. And so when we can see ourselves, when we see, well, I'm not meant to be there, I'm meant to be there in this place. And I ended up being at an anniversary dinner for my daughter and my son-in-law last night, and also being able to sit and listen front row seat to listen to an amazing artist, young up and coming artist who is from Slave Lake, who now lives down this way, and she's still young, and I've watched her grow up. And so I got to be there and watch Berlin Broad play last night. So other people might have been at Pink, but I was at I was out watching Berlin and with all of the family. And so this was my way. And so it's, it's really truly about that sense of letting go of so many of those entrapment stories that has a hold of us, and freeing ourselves of that. And that's what forever golden is. That's Davina. Is she's wise enough to know that she can have both. She can wear a short dress, she can have a long dress. She can wear both at the same time. She can be damaged and still be brand new. She can be she can be a brunette and she can be a blonde. Notice that? Right? She can know who she is, and she doesn't have to wear a hair color that defines it. She doesn't have to put on a getup, like she doesn't have to put on an outfit and then call herself by certain things. And that was an issue that I struggled with early in life, early in my career part was being identified or being judged. And so it's so easy. The world will always judge us. You have to stop judging yourself and stop being so hard on yourself. And that's the key that is coming in, and that's where the ending is, the world will always be critical. It will always judge. Are you going to stop judging? Are you going to stop not trusting you and learn how to trust, and learn how to really truly trust your body, trust that inner voice, trust that higher calling, trust something more than needing the validation from everything outside of yourself, or needing to always follow what you think, is for everyone else. What's for everyone else may not be for you. And sometimes this energy really speaks about, sometimes you may have to stand as a lone wolf. And it's totally okay to sometimes stand as a lone wolf. Because when you got to stand up or stand in a new truth, sometimes it means you're standing as a lone wolf. But that's the card that we have, and that's the message that we have. And I'm just going to quickly validate it. Imperfectly perfect, Gemma. And so see the light coming in. And when we have to stand in our light and stand in our truth and see our true reflection, it's hard to stay in the light. It's easy to go to the dark. It's easy to get into the critical mind. It's easy to go there, but it's not so easy to stay on the upside, to stay in the light, to stay true to the light. It's easier to fall away, because that's where it's way more over here. It's like in the basement, right? It's way more hanging out in the basement than there is hanging out in the penthouse. And so it's like, oh, I don't want to go to the penthouse because there'll be less people. How about you get to the penthouse and you stay there, and people can be inspired to climb up, right? It's perspective. So a lot of perspectives, a lot of ways that we see things right now, and everything is so perfectly planned, right? Like there's such imperfection, but it has such perfection. And so she comes back into the maiden energy, and she's in the new beginnings. And so all new beginnings are not perfectly planned. Not everything goes as planned, but everything has a divine plan. And when we get into the flow of the divine plan, it's amazing how, with all of the imperfections and all of the obstacles and all the stumbling blocks, we still make it where we're meant to go. But it means often having to choose to walk this way and not that way, right? And in one of my books, I wrote, when in doubt, go right, right? When in doubt, go right, right? It's like there is no real wrong decisions. Sometimes you just got to make a decision, make a choice. You can turn again. It's like being on the range roads. You might get lost, but if you just keep turning, you just keep turning, you just keep stop for a moment, breathe, and then you keep turning in that direction that you're supposed to be going, you'll get back to where you need to go. And that's life. If we get connected to our why, if we get locked into that why, if we lock into our due north, if we stay true to ourselves, to the self that we're probably don't even know yet, and if you stay true to that self and you get connected to that self, then yeah, you're going to twist, you're going to turn, but your eyes, your sight is still on that direction. You're going to make it. You're going to get to there, because there is, this was the soul's destiny. And so the more that you travel in all directions, you find out pieces and parts about yourself. You find out that you have primal in you, and you have primal instinct. You find out that you're not always so nice, and you're not always so put together. You find out that you can be there's a worse version of you and there's a best version of you. You can find out that you have more strength than you thought you had. You have more courage. You have a courage is different than the courage that we try to bring into our lives. But it's you find out that there's somebody was always, standing up for you, always fighting for you, and that existed inside of you. You find out so much about yourself when you keep just saying yes and just keep going, but staying laser focused on that due north. And that brings us back, because I'm freaking golden. Why am I going this way? Why? Because I'm freaking golden, right? Because there is something beautiful and something powerful and something worth fighting for and something worth living for inside of each and every one of us. And we all bring something beautiful. We all bring light to this world. We bring life to this world. And as I posted in my reel today, is when you're looking into somebody else's life, or you're trying to fit into somebody else's skin, somebody else's life, somebody else's clothes, is that you may be trying to fit in something that's either too small for you or maybe even too big for you. And it keeps you from being into what is just right for you. And when you can fit into what is just right for you, then that's where the ease comes in. That's where the flow comes in. But we are sold the Kool-Aid on the only way to be somebody is that we have to be this or be that, or you have to, right? It's chasing the imitation light. And when you know true light is so bright that it's hard to stay in it. But it also calls us up and out. It makes us be able to face those parts of ourselves and to see that we have everything that exists in us, including the most beautiful light of all. Right? And that's our source, and the source exists in us. So, yeah, and that's what I have for you today. And tonight, I don't know why I needed to come in, but that's why, I guess, to tell you that message. Hello, everyone who has been joining in. So nice to see you here. Hello, Lisa. Perfect card to come in the doors to see. Hey, what a perfect card. So the two cards that we pulled was Forever Golden Divina and Gemma, which is Imperfectly Perfect. And our golden light and our own power and our own sense of authority. And a big part of this is knowing more and more about how we are controlled, or how we're trying to control, or how we have this own sense of using our own power. And we can be disempowering ourselves and not even recognize it. We can be wearing something that doesn't fit, and we're wondering why we don't feel right, or things don't feel right. We could be going away, or doing the things, or choosing the things because everyone else is, or that's what somebody else says will suit me. But who knows? Nobody will know you better than you know you if you stay with you long enough to get to know you. And that's why I share stories. That's why I share stories and experiences in the books, so that you know that you're not alone, and that we all are here to walk the path and the way. Just get your why. And that's what I got for you. So tickets are on sale for Newfoundland. There's tickets on sale for Lacombe for my one-day event on September the 21st. And yeah, everything in Newfoundland there is the Sunday in Grand Falls. I'm making a change to the tickets in there, so that, and it's only going to be a select number of tickets. So the empowerment one in Grand Falls, there is going to be a select number of tickets that are going to be sold as a 2-for-1. And so I just got to get in and tweak that before it actually goes out. So if you've already bought a ticket, I will get you an email, send you an email with an option for you to choose that. But there's still the choice to just buy your own one ticket or to buy the 2-for-1. But there is only going to be a select number of tickets. So, and that's only for the Sunday event in Grand Falls, the Empowerment Day, the workshop that I'm doing there. So everything else all has early bird pricing on, and all the early bird pricing is up and in there. And tomorrow, Hi, tomorrow is new moon. So tomorrow we have a new moon. We're coming into eclipse season as well. It's just a lot happening, and you may see some bright, beautiful lights out there in the sky tonight. So they were out last night dancing around, and so there's some dancing in the sky, just as Capricorn is dancing in Pluto. Pluto making its last hurrah for our lifetime. We're never going to see that alignment anymore in our lifetime. And we are really truly moving in and through what they call the age, the golden age of Aquarius, and we're making some major shifts and strides and changes, and you may be feeling them within you. So sometimes you need a little guidance and help to sort some of that out, and that's why I do the workshops that I do. And so the other workshop is the online workshop, which why that just slipped my mind. So in our academy, in the More Than Existing Academy online, coming up on September the 18th, which I believe is around the full moon, we're starting the next series of the soul revival of the divine feminine. And so this class is the mystic way, the way of the mystic way, or the way of the mystic. So that one is available. And that's a 4-week class, and it's online. And look, Lisa just posted the link. So Lisa, who is the co-creator of More Than Existing Academy, and she is Loving Energy Recharge right there. She just posted a link to all of the events. And if you go to the Academy also, both myself and Lisa have new classes coming up, and we're very excited for those. So I have the Mystic Way. She has the Ancestral Healing class. And so both of those are available, and they're coming up, and they're live online. So check it all out. Come see us. And so, yeah, I send you so much love. Have a beautiful night. And thank you, Lisa, for posting that. Have and happy new moon. Much love. Bye-bye.